All right, so here we are, downtown St. Catharines at co-working, and this is a facility of which former Councillor Laura Ip will be talking about, but we're here today to talk about open data, and there's a report coming to Council on Monday. We will have a good discussion about it, but it's important for the public to understand what open data is about, and Councillor Ip, former Councillor Ip, was the individual who brought the report forward. So really the first question is, why did you think it was an important topic or issue to have a staff report?
Well, I'm not a tech person myself, but being a member of Co-work Niagara, I spend a lot of time with a lot of tech guys, and they were constantly talking about open data. So being curious, I asked them about it. It makes sense. Data is collected by each of the municipalities, right? These guys actually for Open Data Day are here hacking with data today, creating different apps, that sort of thing. And this is what open data allows us to do.
So in terms of an example of open data and how would it be used in a municipal?
Okay, so I've got actually two examples. One is specific to sort of cost savings, and the other one is more about efficiency. There's a really interesting example out of Sault Ste. Marie, the city of Sault Ste. Marie, the CNIB, and their Centre for Innovation worked together to focus on where to put audible crosswalks, right? So knowing where the CIB clients live, instead of saying we're going to put audible signals in and we'll spread them out evenly throughout the city, they focused on areas where people who were visually impaired were living and then spread out from there, right? So with that data, they were able to put them where they would be most used first, rather than spending money to put them somewhere where maybe nobody was using them. The other example is one out of Chicago. They get a little bit of snow as well. So someone mapped where all of the fire hydrants were, and then had people adopt a fire hydrant so that they would shovel out around the fire hydrant, so that if there was a tragedy and your house is burning down, you don't have to wait for the firefighters to shovel out the hydrant.
So it's an opportunity for people who know how to work with the data to come up with solutions.
That's right.
That aren't staff driven, they're actually community driven.
That's right.
And so having this type of data available, where would the users of the data be able to access it? How do they get it?
Well, you would, I mean, the city collects, every municipality collects data already, of course, right? So it's really just a matter of making that data shareable. So instead of PDF lists of when committee meetings are taking place, right, make it in a shareable form so that somebody maybe wants to create an app of, you know, what committees are meeting when and where. There was an example that was given yesterday. The Heritage Committee, for instance, has, I believe, a PDF list of properties of interest, right? So if that data is shareable, someone, like one of these guys again, could map out where those properties are, right? And provide something that's probably a little more interesting. People can go and find them and see sort of, you know, again, in a heritage context, and we know for St. Catharines there are, but in other municipalities, are there pockets of areas that have heritage bases? Is it spread out evenly throughout the city? You know, what does that look like?
So your understanding of this resource, what's from your perspective, the cost? What's the cost of doing it, and what's the cost of not doing it?
Well, I mean, the cost initially, there's definitely some labor involved in making the existing data open, right? But in moving forward, I don't see how there's a real cost to that, right? You say, okay, we're committed to open data. Any new data we create will just be open.
And a potential benefit is if they were able to do mapping on, say, infrastructure, and then provide the data in a format that we can plan better as a city. That's right. Then we actually could mitigate some costs moving forward. So that's an interesting way of looking at it. So, well, you say data, I say data. Here we are co-working. So just briefly tell us about co-working.
So co-work is an example of it's a shared workspace, right? We've got a number of freelance people here, tech people, small business owners, anyone who primarily works independently. They come into the space to, I mean, we say we work independently together, right? It saves someone the cost of having to rent an office because they've got formal office space here if they need to meet with someone instead of doing it at their home or that sort of thing. The other really interesting thing, and I guess it sort of fits with open data as well, just that sharing. We're all coming from very different backgrounds in our education, our experience, the work that we're doing, and having really interesting conversations with those other individuals from completely different backgrounds. Right?
And you can get a membership here as a
Yeah, there's an annual membership at Co-work Niagara. So annual membership is $125, and then you're a member and you're a decision maker in what goes on and that sort of thing. And then there are different fees structures for actual use of the space.
So will we see you on Monday?
You absolutely will.
So we'll see you on Monday. Thank you for taking the initiative to get open data on the table, and we'll be looking forward to what the council has to say about it. And as this is Open Data Day in 2015, there's a lot of work taking place behind us, and the benefits are, I think, to the community at large. So
absolutely.
Again, thank you for taking the initiative to bring this forward, and we look forward to having examples, real examples in St. Catharines of how open data can improve our community. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.